So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming, here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now this video is going to be a recap of EW's latest livestream in which we got to take a little bit of a look at the new reserve coming to the game, Emerald Coast. As you will have just seen there, Jaxiebeard did just highlight a eastern grey kangaroo. Unfortunately he didn't spot it, and we also got a very brief glimpse of the feral goats here, looking really pretty with that new rework that they've had. It looks like they've had a little bit of a remodel around the face, and they just look really beautiful. But there was a lot of information in today's stream which I'm going to cover in this video. There's a lot to go over, but we're going to start off by just taking a look at what the new map actually looks like. This is the new map, Emerald Coast, and wow, it looks really impressive. There's a couple of nice big long rivers, and there's a bit of a marshy looking area towards the east there. Then you've got lots of little lakes dotted about, but a lot of open land, and honestly it looks really exciting. I am so excited to eventually be able to go and play on this map. I really want to get my hands on it and just go and explore. And from what Beard was saying, it's not all going to be about drink zones. There's going to be plenty of hunting, just wandering around. You're not going to have to just focus on the drink zones, which I think is always a fantastic thing. So the map itself looks really beautiful, and it's really good that we've actually had our first glimpse of what the map itself actually looks like. But now I'm going to go through some notes that I took during the stream and go through all of the information that we were given on today's stream, in addition to being able to see the map here in the background, which I have to just say before I get into these notes, the environment as Beard was walking around and telling us all of this information, this map just looks stunning. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. I just cannot wait to get onto this map. I think I'm going to have so much fun with taking screenshots and having a great hunting time on this map. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm really excited. But now let's get into some of that information that I was talking about. So to start off with, there will be no stream next Tuesday. There will be no EW stream next Tuesday. And that's really important because, you know, at the moment we're all looking forward to the EW streams to see what they show off. But next Tuesday, from what Beard was saying, is a holiday. So there will be no stream next Tuesday. There will be one on the Tuesday after, and we've been told that we won't want to miss that. So that's really exciting. Red deer, fallow deer and goats have all had remodel/reskins, and with that means that they'll all be getting a population reset with this update. Now, I'm really actually curious as to what they've done with the red deer, because we've seen the fallow deer in the last stream where we saw the Great One fallow deer. Beard did show us what the new fallow deer models and textures look like. I say models because I think they have had some improvements around the face, but that could just be the effect of the reskin making them look better. But they definitely have had an improvement. Same with the feral goats. Their faces look different, the eyes look different, so I'd say that they have had some level of little bit of remodel and definitely some reskins, and they look fantastic. So I'm really curious as to what work the red deer have actually had done. I hope that their eyes have been made to look more realistic, same with the fallow deer and the feral goats, and hopefully there's improvements to the fur textures on them as well, so that'll be really exciting to see. But red deer, fallow deer and feral goats will all be being reset with this update. So with the Emerald Coast update, those populations will be being reset. So if you have any trophy red deer, fallow deer or goats on your map, make sure that you go and take them out before the Emerald Coast update, because after the Emerald Coast update there will be fresh populations, so any trophies that were on your map will be gone. Next little bit of information is incredibly exciting. Springbok, Euro bison and Plains bison will all be receiving true racks with this update for Emerald Coast. So with the Emerald Coast update, 3 new sets of true racks, which is really exciting. I cannot wait to see what they've done, especially with the Springbok. I really hope that we're going to see some really nice horn shapes for them, because the diamond ones in game at the moment look okay, but there's more impressive examples in real life with, you know, thicker horns and more curled horns. So I'm really hoping that we'll see some stuff like that. I'm very excited to actually see that. But because they will be getting Trurax, those three will also be getting a population reset. So Springbok, Euro Bison and Plains Bison will also be receiving a population reset. So the same thing with the fallow deer, red deer and goats that I just mentioned. If you have any trophies of those on your maps, make sure to shoot them because after this update they will be reset. So alligators and crocodiles have had some aggression and behavioural changes. Now, obviously crocodiles aren't even in the game yet, but I'm assuming this is just sort of tied in with the same thing, and this is what Beard said. But the alligators have gone through some behavioural changes, and it sounds like they're going to be a lot more aggressive, and it also sounds like the saltwater crocodiles are also going to be very aggressive when they release with Emerald Coast. So that's really exciting. They've also gone through some other behavioural changes, including spending more time up on the banks where they're more huntable. So that's really, really cool to actually hear, and it sounds like they're going to be a lot more fun to hunt and a lot different to hunt now. So that's really exciting, and it makes me even more excited for the saltwater crocodiles and actually getting to hunt those. And I'll obviously be excited to go back and hunt the gators more because I think that'll add to the experience of hunting them. So I think that's going to be really exciting. Now, another population reset that's going to be happening, and this is the final population reset that Beard has mentioned, is that bobcats will be being reset. Now, he didn't specify if it's just bobcats, as in the bobcats that are on New England mountains, or if it's both the bobcats that are on New England mountains and the bobcats that are on Rancho del Arroyo, the Mexican bobcat, but he just said bobcats, so I'm going to assume it's both because they use the same models and everything. So I'm just going to take that as bobcats in general in the game will be being reset because they're having some changes to their drink times. So again, same with the other species that are being reset. If you have any bobcat trophies, and I would make sure with Mexican bobcats and just the bobcats on New England Mountain, I would make sure that you don't have any trophies of either of the bobcats hiding on any of your maps because they will be reset by the sounds of it. And like I said, I would just make sure, because Beard didn't specify if it was just Mexican bobcats or just the bobcats on New England mountains, just make sure for both populations you don't have any trophies hiding anywhere, because otherwise they could be reset with this update. And I'm guessing it's going to be both, seeing as Beard just said bobcats, so I'm expecting it will be both populations of bobcats. So just to be on the safe side, I'd check through both. Now, moving on to the next bit of information, the 223 is getting a buff. It's being made stronger due to the 22-250 changing the balance. So that's really interesting to hear, and we are actually going to get a little bit of a look at what the buffed 223 can actually do to Whitetail, as Beard later on in the stream actually did take it out to Leighton to go and take a couple out, and honestly I was kind of impressed with how well it did. Considering how weak the current 223 is, I'm very excited to see it receiving a buff, even if it's not going to become like a main loadout weapon or a meta weapon or anything like that. I think it's good to make a weapon like the 223 that is just basically never used because it is just so underpowered. To actually give it a use, I'm really excited about that. Also, how gorgeous was that view from that lookout post? Absolutely amazing. This map just looks so gorgeous. I'm so excited about that. Now, something else Beard mentioned is that on PC, the UI key is being moved from C to U. Now, I do play on PC, but I play with a controller, but I believe this is the key that has been causing people so many problems because, with it being bound to C, people have been accidentally pressing it, and I believe this is the key that has been switching off your, animal spotting outlines, track highlights, all of those things. And I know that that's been a real pain in the community because I've seen so many people, and I've actually done it myself when I've been typing on keyboard. Like I said, I play on controller, but sometimes I'll type messages, when I'm in a multiplayer server or whatever, and I've done it myself, hit the key and been like, okay, why do I no longer have spotting outlines? This is really weird. And then you have to hit the C key again to switch them back on. So that key being rebound, I think, will be really, really useful, and I think that's a very good idea. And yeah, I'm really pleased to actually hear about that. Now, something else that Beard let slip during the stream was something to do with coolers, and I found this to be really interesting. He said something to be discovered with the coolers. So I don't know if they've changed how the coolers actually work or the cooling system in general, but there definitely sounds like there's been some changes with that. So going to be very curious to actually try cooling things on the new map and see what happens and see what the differences are, because yeah, That's made me curious about what they've actually changed. Something else Beard mentioned is that the Banteng are not gentle beasts, so sounds like maybe the Banteng can also be aggressive, which, you know, when we know that the saltwater crocodiles are going to be aggressive, we know that the kangaroos are going to be aggressive after what Beard said on the last stream about him getting killed by the very first one he encountered. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of very aggressive animals on this map, which is really what I was hoping for, because it makes for such a fun experience. If things are, you know, attacking you, you're trying to get close to things and then you get attacked by a kangaroo or whatever, it adds to the experience, I think, and it makes things like that so much more fun to hunt. I love it with the moose when they go aggressive. I think it's just such a fun interaction, so I'm really, really excited to see what the aggression from the crocodiles, by the sounds of it the Banteng, and of course the kangaroos is going to actually be like. Cannot wait for all of that. So a lot of really interesting stuff. A couple of other interesting things that we got to see during the stream. We did actually see very, very, very briefly a fleeing call being made by a black bear that Beard shot at with the 223, and it was only for a very brief second, but it did actually come up. So really interesting. That was something that was mentioned, is that fleeing calls are going to be coming to the game, and it was interesting to see one implemented, and I will pop it up on screen just so you can see what it actually looked like. Something else that you'll notice, especially in the clips where, you know, Beard is shooting the whitetail that I mentioned in a moment with the 223, is that animal calls now have a distance on them. So exactly the same as when you spot an animal, it now has the distance estimate. That now appears on calls too when they pop up. So that's really interesting to see, and I was very surprised to actually see that. Now, also talking about release dates, there is no release date currently, and from what Beard said, it hasn't even been sent in for certification yet, but it shouldn't be too long before this map is actually released. I'm expecting towards the end of June from what's been said, but it shouldn't be too long, but there is no release date yet, so I cannot give you a date for when this map is going to release, and also the update that's going to be coming with it, unfortunately. But a lot of really interesting information. Now, something else that we got to take a look at during the stream, and also, if you notice there as Beard was scrolling by, the magpie goose caller and the magpie decoy, but something that we got to take a look at is the customization for tents and ground blinds. Now, it's exactly the same system as with customizing your rifles, but it does appear that you can't use the materials on the tents, so like the wood effects, but it does appear that you can use the paints, sprays, camos and wraps, but you can see here Beard trying to apply one of the wood effects to the tent and it wouldn't take, which of course does make sense, but just something worth mentioning. But this is really nice to see. More customization in the game is always a good thing, and this could lead to more customization along the line. Maybe one day we see something where you can customize your character's clothes or your ATV. There's so many possibilities with this, so I'm really excited to actually see this. I think it's a really nice touch, and it's something that I will definitely be using because I love to customize everything I possibly can. And yeah, I think it's a really nice system. Now, something worth mentioning is once you have customized one tent of a particular colour, so for example, once you've customized one pink tent, all of the pink tents that you then buy or use will have the colours and camos that you have applied to the one all, so they basically stack, right? So once you've done one, all of those tents that you buy of that same colour will then look the same. So you can't customize tents individually, if that makes sense. You can't buy one pink tent and then customize it and then buy another pink tent and customize it a different way. And I hope that that is at least kind of clear, because I know that that's a difficult one to try and explain. But yeah, they do actually stack. So once you've customized one of a particular colour or particular version, like the camo version or the blue or the pink, all of the ones that you then buy or use of that type will all have the same things applied to it as you did for the first one. And yeah, that's pretty much all there was with the tents and the ground blinds customization. Really nice, and you know, I'm really actually looking forward to that. I think it's a very nice touch. Now, as I did mention, we were going to take a look at the buffed 223, and this is when Beard actually brought up the Leighton Lake cosmetic pack. So I did do a video covering this when it got dropped on Steam last week, and it's a really nice looking customization pack. I'm very, very excited for it. There's some really nice stuff in here, especially that premium wrap. I think, you know, using that on different weapons and maybe on tents and stuff is going to look really, really nice. And I'm assuming that this is going to be another paid DLC, so probably, again, very cheap like the other customization packs. But I do expect that this will cost, you know, a few pounds or whatever your currency is. But some nice stuff in there again, and again, I'm always happy to see more customization options. And it's not something you have to have, but it's something that if you want it, it's there and it's available. And I always am in favour of there being more options for, you know, for things that people can get if they want to get them. So that's really exciting, and that will be coming with Emerald Coast. So whenever Emerald Coast release, we will also see the release of this pack. And the premium wrap looks so good on the 223. In fact, the customization that Beard does here with the 223, that's freaking gorgeous. But now, like I said, let's take a look at what the buffed 223 can do to some whitetail. That absolutely dropped that doe with a heart shot, which surprised me because I have had the 223 in the past not penetrate past the shoulder blade on a coyote. And that, to me, feels like it's way more strong than that. So, really impressed by that. And then Beard actually takes a look here with a couple of shots at a couple of whitetail. So, this is going to be a really interesting little test. And I was actually really excited to see how well this did. So, you can see here, Beard takes a shot at both a doe and a buck. And we're going to see what the actual shots look like here in the claim screen. Both of the deer didn't go very far before they actually dropped, and look at that penetration. That is so much better than what it had before. Like I said, I actually lost a diamond coyote because I used the 223 and it just touched the shoulder blade and couldn't penetrate any further in. So these kind of shots I'm really impressed to see. Unfortunately, Beard didn't give us a, you know, very long look at the harvest screens, but it did look to be quite impressive. And here you can see Emerald Coast there being on the map, which looks awesome. And this gorgeous harvest screen with these rusa. Wow. How beautiful is that? To see a scene like that, I think, will be absolutely incredible. That screen, that transition screen, was amazing. And it was just cool to see Emerald Coast there, actually on the Call of the Wild map. Really, really awesome. So, that was pretty much it for today's live stream. A lot of information actually covered, and, you know, a lot of talk about different resets and stuff. And yeah, it seems like this is going to be a really big update, and I'm very, very excited for it. Of course, we're getting a new Great One as well with this update, alongside an entirely new map with entirely new species. And, you know, all of these other things coming along with it. I think there's just a lot in this update, and I'm really, really excited for it. This is the most excited I've been since Rev on Thule, and honestly, I can't wait to just get out here and hunt all these new species and, you know, play the game with this new update, because it seems like there's been quite a few changes, and I'm really, really excited to actually get my hands on it and see what it feels like to play with all these changes. I'm really, really excited. But I hope I have managed to cover all of the info from today's stream. Those are all the notes and everything I had. So hopefully that's all been clear. And if you have any questions, please do feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond as normal. But yeah, I will also link the full live stream in the description if you want to go and watch the full thing. It was a really good stream, and unfortunately we didn't see a lot of the actual animals on the map. Like I said, we got that brief glimpse of the kangaroo at the beginning and the glimpse of the new looking goats, which is awesome. They have such a great new look. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, unfortunately not a whole lot of actually looking at the map itself and running around and hunting the species, but it does sound like that will be something to happen in the future. Now, just a reminder that once again, next Tuesday there will be no stream, but there will be on the following Tuesday, which Beard says we will not want to miss. So I'm very, very excited to see what happens on that stream, and I'm very excited to see what happens in the meantime, because Beard said keep an eye on the social media, so there may be things I think dropped, you know, teaser pictures and stuff maybe in the meantime, so definitely going to be worth keeping an eye out for that. And of course, if any information or any pictures or anything are shared, then of course I will cover them here on the channel. But I really hope that that has been a good recap of today's live stream. I think I've managed to cover everything. So that is going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.